Hello people, this is Power here to review the DX Grand Zi-O Ridewatch from Kamen Rider Zi-O. This is the final form of Kamen Rider Zi-O, as you can see here. Here's the Grand Zi-O Ridewatch itself. Here's a nice, beautiful display of all 20 Heisei riders, with O's exiting and build spilling through here, while Drive 4's Ryuki, Kabuto, and 5's are here, while the majority of them are up here. Again, DX Grand Zi-O Ridewatch. This is something I really like that they keep with all the power-up items, and I didn't notice this at all, but the alternate forms also have it too, so I just like that uniform look. Let me take a quick look at yeah, Zi-O 2 has it also, so I just like that they've been keeping it consistent. Here's a nice side picture of where they normally have the rider, but here it's AD 2000 through AD 2019. That's just really neat. Bottom doesn't have much, and again, just like Trinity, all the warnings down here, so this is like completely like just filled with this has. Again, there's a CGI rendition of Grand Zi-O right there, and that's basically it for this. So let's take it out and yeah, let's just deal with it. Here we have the Grand Zi-O Ridewatch itself, and obviously it's pretty bulky. Just doing a quick size comparison. Here's Gates. It's literally like half the size of it. But it's pretty huge, but it's smaller than what I expected it to be. So yeah. So obviously the Grand Zi-O Ridewatch is basically like a majestic version of a Ridewatch, because it's supposed to accumulate all 20 Heisei Ridewatches, or their powers at least. As you can see here, there's chrome on the front. For these for just clocks in general. I like the gold paint up here. I think that looks pretty neat, but other than that, most of it's just gold plastic. And you might think that this is actually the button, or this is the button, but actually it's this back button, and I accidentally already did that. There's these two posts too. I don't know the point of them, because I think this is where you hold it, or a secondary place to hold it. Basically you hold it from back here and such. But there's the Grand Zi-O Ridewatch face. Basically just like Trinity. So I don't have Trinity right next to me anymore. Basically this is the same Ridewatch face that we always had. I'm just pulling out this one because it's the nearest one next to me, but it's basically just one like that. And then the back here are the speakers. Just like Trinity, it's just not glittery. So the track and the buttons are this pearl clear white, which I like. There's the QR code for Butsuba Gamba. And then here's the track, our favorite track, the dreaded 031 track. Here's Waz Ginga, because it's the same exact track, and it's just like, I don't know, that's just that's literally one of my few nitpicks. It's just like, why did they use this track? There's literally another track in this lineup that could have done the same thing. Oh well. So, as I accidentally spoiled already, basically you press it once. I'm gonna do it this way just so then you guys can see it. You press it halfway through, the left side pops out, and then when you press it down completely, the right side pops up. I'll just do it in conjunction. This is how you close it up. So if you hold it down completely, both sides pop up. So as you can see here, here are all the previous main 19 Heisei riders Kuga through build, because I would have really liked that they just stuck Zi-O down there, but because I guess he's up here, yeah, it's pretty neat and such, and this how it's segmented is pretty interesting. And a funny thing I think you can do is that you can technically close it up like so, and then just have the main phase 1 Heisei riders, because you can't have phase 2, because then you have to like hold hold the front plate down, because this is the closest you can have a phase 2, so you can't really have that. So on with the sounds, this is the tab, which is pretty interesting because we don't have a tab at this length for ride watches and such. So let's start with the sounds. So again, you have to press it down completely. Just like most typical Zi-O stuff, all the ride watches LEDs are white. So again, rider description. So that's Grand Zi-O's description, which isn't, if I have to be honest, that isn't really his description. That's just the narration of the show, the first narration of the show. So, like, yeah, technically he is correct, but it's like when they do an actual proper, like Grand Zi-O Ridewatch, you know, like just one like this, because I really want them to do that. Oh, like for him to get like his actual proper description. Like I understand they did it just because like, oh yeah, look, like we did. It's like, you know, it's nice and all, but I would like for him to get his own description. And then we get Tokugawa Sogo phrases if it didn't reset. Honestly surprised that's in there. So you get 4 phrases right away. With the third phrase, his main phrase, like, I think I got this, no one commends the fact that he doesn't say it so much. Like, because obviously people hate on Zi-O so much. But it's like, have people not noticed that, like, Zi-O's one of the first few series where, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just kind of nice that, like, we don't constantly spit out the catchphrases. So, because, like, when it happens, it's just like, oh, he said it. It's not like, you know, like, again, I'm not bashing, like, Build or X8, or I'm not bashing, like, any of the series have done it, because I think they're fine, but, like, Zi-O's with me, I kind of didn't really, that's when I'm like, yeah, we don't really need a catchphrase, so I went on a rant with that, so. Let's get the GQ driver. Here we go. Just insert it in like normal. And there we have the transformation process of Kamen Rider Grand Zi-O. Honestly, I really like the standby that it's a combination of all the sound, like at least one sound from each series, and the transformation I think is really neat. I just don't think the show like presented it well, because like we're supposed to get like an ultimate like epic feeling with the jingle, but the show doesn't do a good job with that. It really makes it really slow. I think the way Gamba Rising does it is way better, and I wish the show did that. But as you can see, this thing is like pretty gigantic. And like this portion like covers half of the screen. But honestly, I don't even care, because this is like our like 6th toy that had the same exact track, so like I'm really don't like that. Anyways, the finisher. The same standby will just play. So that will just do the all 20 time break. That's kind of it. That's kind of it. Alright, that's all you could do with this by itself, which is kind of underwhelming. But because of the fact Bandai is self-aware of themselves, if you hold down the button, which I should probably show myself holding, so this is another phrase. And then if we do the whole process again, it shortens it. Because that's kind of how the show does it. So, yeah. And then, again, if we hold it down again, I won't give up. Yeah, that kind of thing. So, that's basically good for the watch. I am not going to bother putting it on this side, because I did not do that for a decade. So, yeah. And just because this is technically the official last Zi-O product, this review I'm just going to talk about things I forgot to mention or figured out. But I forgot to I actually forgot to mention with my Zi-O Ridewatch, I got him like this, so the sticker portion just keeps sticking up, and it's really bothersome. Like, I don't know if like anything like there's like any like stickiness in that section, but like the amount of times I try to put it down, it just keeps getting itself back up. So yeah, I don't even know if anyone could recognize it, but it bothered me. The fact like I got this new too, it's just unusual. Another thing I learned too is that Gates is actually left-handed. So he shoots with his left hand. So I've been doing it all wrong this whole time. So we're gonna correct that right now. So there, now we're officially left-handed. I accidentally stated my decade one already, but yeah, I actually just like genuinely forgot that to do the writer time, but because there was just already a lot to cover, so like it just literally covers the whole face. But yeah, that's basically it for the Grand Zi-O Ridewatch. So for my first Ultimate Form item, because I don't have Shift Tridron because he's so expensive to get, I think like Grand Zi-O's like it's nice and all, but for functionality wise, it's kind of underwhelming for something like this. Because basically Grand Zi-O, what this doesn't do is that Grand Zi-O has the ability to technically summon riders or like, use their weapons and such. So I would have liked if there was a way of like incorporating that in this toy. Like obviously I'm not like asking, oh I want it so like I can press each of these stickers, because then this toy would have been like $50. But basically, I don't know, I wanted someone like if I held the button down, or like I don't know, if I could like cycle through the riders when I press the button through. So like here it would just say Kuga or something, and then like I spin it and it would do like Kuga's, like it will say like Kuga and then an explosion happens. That's what I at least wanted. But it doesn't do that. And it just kind of sucks, because then you kind of have to like play with your own imagination then, like, you know. So like you have to like pull out this thing when you play with this, because then you have to pretend like, oh yeah, I summoned the full bottle buster and such. Like yeah, I guess that isn't bad, but it's just like I would have liked this like press it, like cycle through that rider, and then like spin it, and yeah. But I guess they couldn't do that because of the fact that technically this has the longest jingle and the longest standby, so they probably really want to be conservative with it and such. But honestly, then again, like Gates' version of this thing in a V Cinema that I still can't believe is actually going to be a thing, even though we're 2 weeks from now from those being announced as I'm recording this. But it's not a bad ride watch. It's just I think it really should do more, which is why like I don't know, like because technically like I don't know, a hard thing for me to believe is that technically these two are at the same price point, because I got Decade for $18, and this guy I got for full price, which is like, so I'll just say get him off of Monterake. Just do that. And honestly, again, another thing that bugs me about it is that they use 031. It's like, why? You guys have a Geo track that doesn't have the turning sound, nor the standby sound. Like, really, I can look it up on Crane Joe right now. I can show you guys the tracks they could have used. This is how aggravated I am about this, because I don't understand why they have to like why they have to use next or like new 000, like 031. I'm already so tired of this track. So I'm pretty sure the one I was thinking about is 028, like 027, but I'm gonna quickly do no, I can't do it, but it's just like they should have just used a new track for this one. Or honestly, I wish they just had Grand Zi-O's track set, but make it specific to this. I don't know, it's just like I'm more bothered by the fact it uses the same track and than it shouldn't having more sounds. Shouldn't is not even a word, but anyways. I will stop with my ramble. I'm sorry for this video being really long, but yeah. One thing I actually want to say too is I really like how they incorporated both types of buttons on here. Like it from like, you know, from Zi-O and Zi-O 2, Zi-O Trinity is disregarded. Maybe these are supposed to represent Zi-O Trinity. Who knows? So that's basically it for this review. I think it's a decent toy. It's just don't really expect so much out of it. This is Power, and I'll leave it, people. Bye.